Welcome to the answer to life, the meaning, or whatever that is. Session 42 of Dark Heresy, Felonies of Faith. In our last session, I inaccurately said it was session 40 when it was session 41. And, more importantly, the team made it to the Hive Governor's Tower, took positions around doors where Shelby and Mathras indicated that some great evil from the warp was manifest beyond. Malakal pushed the door. Sorry, Malakil, whatever. Pushed the doors open.
Malakil or Malachi.
And the team entered the room. Everybody entered the room of the player characters, leaving Trauma Cat, Marnius, Mathras, Hammond, and Melba? Yeah, Melba outside in the elevator foyer. And in this room, it was a centerpiece grand naked lady marble statue with water flowing out as if it were a skirt into a large fountain basin. And yes, there were boobs that Shelby was a little distracted by for a bit. And an upper balcony all the way around. And this was apparently some kind of ballroom or gala chamber or something. The blinds were closed all on the lower level. And on the upper level, there was a sort of black, smoky, tendril-like field preventing anybody from seeing through it, even preventing infrared goggles and the like from working fully and accurately. But Shelby was determined there was something in particular straight ahead, and she kept walking towards it. And eventually, the door slammed shut with Terrence deciding to go into the room rather than out of the room because he was the last one through. And the Hive Governor laughed in a oh-ho-ho maniacal sort of way and started his speech, trying to do his dramatic kind of monologuing, asking who you were and why you came here. Well, he doesn't care. You've come here to die because he has a Herald of Zinch, and he releases the Herald of Zinch upon you. The Herald of Zinch never even got a chance to talk before Shelby split it in two. The Herald of Zinch, being a giant pink horror, split into two larger than average, but still smaller than the original, blue horrors. And there was a single staff that the pink horror was carrying, and when it split into two blue horrors, both of the blues wanted that staff, and greedily one of them snapped it up, leaving the other one defenseless, essentially. And Shelby annihilated that. Blue horror, leaving Malachi to come up and smack the other one with his holy mace. I think the whole thing took all of 15 seconds, leaving the Hive Governor utterly flabbergasted because that thing was a fucking Herald of Zinch, and you guys obliterated it.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you mean Greater Demon of Zinch?
No, it was a Herald. It was not a Greater Demon.
Okay, I'll shut up. Never mind.
Yeah, it was just a gigantic horror. It wasn't one of the Keeper of Secrets. Or no, wait, those are Slanesh. Fuck, what's Changer of Way? No.
Yeah,
Lord of Change.
Lord of
Change.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, it was not a Lord of Change. It was just a very massive and insanity-inducing Herald of Zinch, which actually it was called the Maw of Madness. None of you actually got the chance to ask it its name. And it caused quite a bit of insanity points and corruption points. And it should have caused more corruption, but I forgot one of the rules, where if you fail your insanity test versus a creature that is demonic and has a fear rating, you earn a number of corruption points equal to its fear rating. But, oh well, whatever. Some people got away without corruption there. But that's fine, because later on things kind of balanced out. Krios and Malachi both threatened the Hive Governor to step forward and reveal himself, Krios managing to activate his optical mechadendrite, allowing him to finally get a lock on the position of the Hive Governor in that black smoke. And Alexandra decided to fly up there and personally attempt to come up to the Hive Governor to apprehend him. And the Hive Governor, cowed by the combined might of these unbelievable individuals, recalled that black smoke into himself. And it looked like maybe a bit of that black smoke also maybe went into Alexandra, but who's to say? Speaking of a Bob, I'm going to need a copy of our chat log for that day because I don't know if I still have it. In any event, Alexandra walked up to the governor and basically put her hand on his shoulder when Terrence suddenly semi-autoed with his hell gun. The Hive Governor dodged the last blast, which is very impressive considering I've now applied the penalty to dodging las fire, while Alexandra took 2 bolts worth of las energy, putting her at -5 critical wounds. Friendly fire. This is the second time one of Bobob's characters took critical damage from friendly fire. Player character friendly fire, to be precise. Right, okay, maybe it wasn't exactly friendly the first time, but case in point, it was from a player character. Where was I? Someone's phone is ringing. Whose could it be? In any event, this is also the moment when Tyrion attempted to open a door by pushing on it, only to learn that it was actually a pull door, and somebody on the other side of the door pushed it into her, and then said, "Oh, crap!" And she recognized the voice as belonging to Machiasen. Interrogator Eric Machiasen. And she notified the rest of the team over her microbead, and people proceeded to move with her, running up the stairs, as the Hive Governor ran away from Terrence and the now on fire Alexandra. Shelby walked up the wall to try and catch up with the Hive Governor, and after much compelling from the GM, decided to help Alexandra by putting out the fire. And Machiasen came around a corner, jumped on the Hive Governor, and prevented him from saying anything by Machiasen shoving his hand into the Lord Governor's mouth. Because sorcerers generally have to speak to weave their magic, unlike psychers who just open up their mind to the warp, and out pops chaos. Oh, you're right, Machiasen. That's right. I asked as GM, and you're like, no. So then I had to ask as Machiasen. Right. Okay. And so Machiasen started to subdue the Hive Governor. Tyrion showed up right after, helped him out after a little bit of a welching. Malachi and Terrence stood guard, being ready to attack Machiasen with a moment's notice. Machiasen revealed that he had a bunch of wonderful little servo skulls that seemed to have some kind of blur field or chameleon, however you pronounce that word, because it's not chameleon. Chameleoline coding that makes them virtually invisible. Really, it was just all of you kept failing the GM world awareness tests. And eventually, Machiasen explained that he's more than willing to speak with Havictus, even though he knows it's going to be a very uncomfortable conversation for Havictus. But more important than that, they have secured the corrupt planetary governor who is responsible for the war that has essentially consumed this planet for the last 25 years because of his dealings with Zinch. They now have him captured. Mikaisen put him in a witch hood or witch cage or witch mask, basically a very large iron helmet that, when you turn the knob, pushes a bar into the person's mouth so they cannot speak. It also blinds them, and he also put the man in big, heavy manacles that covered his hands entirely so he could not wave his fingers around to weave his magic. And everybody, with a sort of tentative truce, came to calm down. That is, of course, until Shelby decided she wanted to knock the planetary governor unconscious with her psychic powers and got triple perils. I allowed 3 other players to roll these peril rolls, and fortunately 2 of those peril rolls were identical, and one of the least damning for everybody else. Unfortunately, the first peril roll, as I believe rolled by Brooke, I believe, or was it a Bobob? Testing. Anyone still hear me?
We can still hear you, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Can't just remember.
So Shelby's saying it was Brooke who was third. So yeah, okay. All right. This one was brutal, to say the least. Basically, demons started whispering into everybody's ears. Malkiel and Shelby, I think, were... Oh, no, was Shelby strong enough to resist? Okay. Shelby resisted. Malkiel resisted. Talia resisted. Trauma Cat, I don't think, was lucky enough to... Or maybe she was. I can't remember. Mikaisen resisted. Terrence, I think, got it on a reroll. But Tyrion and Alexandra, the 2 characters who were already suffering from trauma, ended up getting even more trauma because these corruption points caused them to exceed the 31 point, which imperiled both of their souls, which caused more insanity, which inflicted warp knowledge to them, forbidden warp knowledge, more insanity because of that. And yeah, it was all just very, very messy. But the good news is you have Mikaisen. He is cooperating. Mikaisen has the Hive Governor. The Hive Governor is mute and unable to do anything but be led. And just before leaving, Talia, Krios, and Shelby went down to the broken remains of the scepter that the Maw of Madness had possessed. And I had forgot to mention that, yes, Malkiel smashed it with his holy mace. And Talia was able to convince Krios that these fragments of the staff are safer in her care than anyone else's because she knows what this staff is, or rather what it was, and she asked Shelby to use her psychic analysis abilities to see was there any danger left in the staff, and Shelby's like, nah, it's clean now. All that warp energy that was in it has dissipated. And that is where we left off, with everybody ready to return to the shuttle up on the roof. So, in character, what does anybody want to do while still inside the 3rd highest floor of the Hive Governor's Tower? Sorry, Planetary Governor's Tower, because he's not just in charge of this hive, he's in charge of the whole fucking planet.
Keep an eye out on Mikaisen. I don't trust this slimy bastard.
Yeah, Mikaisen will smile to Malkiel, by the way. Very, very, very friendly smile.
Oh, yeah.
Urge to smack his stupid face with the mace. Rising.
Might it be worth investigating his private chambers for any more heresy, essentially?
Is Krios saying this out loud?
Yes.
Machiasen will smile and motion with his hand, which will cause one of his servo skulls to decloak, and say, that one contains all information that I retrieved from the Hive Governor's office before coming to apprehend him.
Very good.
VT?
I would... Go on.
Yeah, just... Can you kick my dude from the map tools?
Yeah, sure.
I seem to have disconnected.
You are disconnected.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Fungi. You said very good, and...
Yes, very good. It might be worth sharing this information.
It goes to the Inquisitor first. No offense. Although, there'll be a little surprise for everyone once we get to the roof. Nothing sinister. I assure you, nothing sinister.
I'm guessing this is a ride of some sorts. Ours is most likely not here.
Well,
Nothing sinister,
you had a
he said
ride
with a
getting
smirk.
here. I sure hope your ride is still here.
Okay, so maybe your surprise isn't a ride then.
No, it's much better. Much better.
Can we disarm the twat that shot me? He doesn't seem smart enough to be carrying a gun.
Now, Miss Romanov, it's not his fault that he works for Havictus. For now, we shouldn't aggravate him. I'm sure he's plenty aggravated with us as is.
I'm just going to put this statement out here then. Besides Talia... Well, basically, besides Talia for the most part, it seems that the rest of his acolytes seem to be a little bit lacking in brains.
Oh, no. Let's not say anything that we'll regret, Miss Romanov.
We can discuss the merits of Inquisitor Misk and Havictus at a later date.
If that's a willpower roll, she succeeds.
Apologize, just trying to deal with the pain.
Yes, trauma cat, is it? Yes, I think that's what they said. Right. If you could administer some painkillers to Miss Romanov, that would be appreciated. And trauma cat would offer Alexandra some painkillers.
Thank you.
At the end of last session, session? Yes, session is a word now. I'm Australian. Krios would have requested that Trauma Cat attended to our wounds.
Well, she attended to the wounds to even wake Alexandra up.
Okay, I assumed painkillers would have already been administered. I do apologize.
You got to remember, this is 40k, so painkillers, that's for the weak. But yeah, basically, Alexandra does have some painkillers, but not enough to make her have any stat penalties. So right now, the question is, Bob, do you want Alexandra to take more painkillers to the point where you will have intelligence perception penalties?
High as a fucking kite. Yay!
Not at the moment. Probably I'll just say enough meds just to take the edge off, which I'm pretty sure is what she has in her right now.
Yes. Yeah, so right now the edge has been taken off. It's still painful as fuck. She was on fire after all. But if we want her fully doped up, that is an option.
No, not yet. She'd rather get numb the pain with something else at the moment.
Well, she does have a flask. Oh, no way, that's right. Daniette drank it all.
Yeah, she chugged that thing.
Okay. So, anything else before we get to the roof?
I don't think so. Not that I can think of, at least.
Okay. And so, la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da, up the stairs you go. And basically, the moment the last person steps out of the stairwell up onto the roof, the Vox system on the tower suddenly activates. Very loud, booming voice of, "This is Hive Governor Zecuriel, and I am happy to announce the end of our civil war conflict. I am stepping down from my position and bringing myself forward to answer for the crimes which I have committed. It is my hope that in doing this, no more innocent lives shall be lost on my world, and the conflict which my actions brought forward can come to an end at last." Machiasen just smiles like an asshole.
Malachi will raise an eyebrow and I'll be like, "Oh, the devilish bastard."
That certainly was surprising.
Machiasen will then say with his own actual voice, "Yes, I've learnt a wonderful little talent," and then he'll switch into Zecuriel's voice after giving himself a little "I've developed a means to master my own vocal cords."
I'm sure that comes in handy.
He smiles rather proudly to himself.
He smiles a lot for someone that lives in the 41st millennium.
There's a reason for that.
I'm sure there is.
Is he as cuckoo for Cocoa Pops as Vern?
Maybe. That's actually, you know what? I'm going to have to roll willpower for Machiasen. Okay. He's going to chuckle to Shelby. And he contemplates giving her a little head pat, but he decides against it. But as you approach your limousine ride, Mr. Jernson comes out of the driver's seat and he looks and he's like, "Who's that? That looks like the planetary governor's outfit." That was like he's the hair. You guys are like Arbites or something, aren't you?
Sure, let's go with that.
Just shut up.
Okay, I don't think you're going to need to roll Intimidate at this point, but he'll nod and say, so am I still driving, or are you driving, or who's driving? Do I get to leave?
Krios will look towards Alexandra and say, yeah, you're still
drive. I tried to make it so that Malachi says it's the same time with Krios. You drive.
Okay then, yeah, strap in everybody. Oh, where to, by the way?
Let's look at Machiasen, questioning Luke.
Indeed, Chris will also look towards Machiasen.
Everybody's looking at Machiasen. Yes, where to?
Let's head to a launch platform. Let me see if I've got the number here. Delta 5983 Beta Gamma. And the
said.
Germson will look a little confused at first, and Machiasen will say, it's very close to the military outpost that has been set up by the Imperial Guard in the area. So literally it's just a slight flight to the west by southwest of here. And if there's no objections, the flight can commence.
I believe there are no objections.
Okay. So while the flight is taking place, who wants to talk to who about what?
I think most of what Krios wanted to say to Machiasen, at least with other people around, has already been said. Oh, right. If possible, Krios will position himself to sit between Alexandra and Terence.
Okay.
Note to
Living
self,
barrier.
this is like a noble's. I'm trying to remember, like, it's been a while since I've been in a limo, but I'm taking this as like a really high noble's, like, limo, right?
Yes, it is.
Normally there's like a bar or at least some kind of refrigerator in a
Yes,
limo.
there is.
I'm going to have to roll for
Last
that,
time-
aren't I?
Last time Krios opened it, he found water and a vial of something purple that glowed.
I'm going to have to probably roll again on that, aren't I?
Well,
Not
You
to, at
can-
least see if I'm
you-
strong
you
enough
can-
not to go looking.
well, okay. If you want to prevent Alexandra from looking for the mini fridge, then yes, you'll have to roll willpower. If you want to
Yep.
just go ahead and reach for the mini fridge, we can see what roleplay dynamic that causes.
I would just say she's going to go for the mini fridge. I have to bet, because she really needs a drink.
Is anyone trying to stop Alexandra?
Let's see if Malachi pays attention to her instead of Machiasen. Nope.
And actually, I think because of what Terrence said out loud, I'm going to ask that everybody make an awareness roll.
Double checking what's my current awareness. Perception is 28. What's my bonus? 38.
Okay. So, Joe, if you could just copy your message to Brooke in whatever, like Skype or whatever, just so that she's aware of what Tyrion heard. And holy shit, Alexandra, that is so many degrees of failure. Testing?
Test.
Okay, I heard Frosty.
I heard you.
Seems that someone was typing. Oh, right, I
I'm
should roll for
typing.
Machiasen, shouldn't I? And Machiasen has... Okay. Oh, God damn it. Someone else is going AFK. No, Jess, not 2 billion. Although I should double check if it's talented or not. Let's see here. Eric. Eric has... Okay. Interestingly enough, maybe. Okay, and Frosty, you may also want to send that to Brooke. So, Gia Pets, I think we just have to wait for, I think Joe, Fungi, and the Bobob are all AFK at the moment. Oh, Joe's here, okay. Thought he said you had to go.
I am here. I'm just muted most of the time.
Sorry, did I say Frosty? I meant Fungi and a Bobob and Joe, but Joe was here.
I don't know. I didn't pay attention.
Hooray!
Don't you start with me. It's 3:30 in here. At night.
Maybe that's not my fault. Maybe it is.
Maybe it's world's fault.
Who knows?
I did push the game ahead an hour, despite, some people not being happy with that, to try and accommodate you.
Yes, and I'm thankful for that. That doesn't still stop me calling you all bastards. Just because I want to.
Damn you, Joe! See, what we need to do is get Joe some cocaine, and then he can just go like, I fucking love cocaine, and be all Doom Rider for us.
Maybe some Dayquil and Red Bull.
Why don't we just go for the full trifecta and add alcohol to that?
Woo!
Bungie and his loo, my goodness. Did he skip to it?
I'm trying to come up here with a clever British pun, but I can't. So I'm just going to call him a cunt.
Okay, we have Krios back. So, Fungi, please roll for me an awareness.
I did not call you cunt, by the way, Fungi.
I'm almost insulted.
Right.
Why not?
Dude.
Krios,
I don't know.
You do not have any bonus to... what do you think? Optical mechadendrite. It counts as the
Well, it's
Auspex.
optical.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't have any audio sensing equipment, would it?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Okay, and then Alexandra, do we get an awareness roll from you?
98.
Yes, you got the 98. Right. Okay. So, I guess Tyrion was the only player character to notice. So, kind of interesting. But Machiasen will lean over so they can look towards Terrence. He'll smile, and you guys know that hand wave where you wiggle your fingers?
Yep.
He'll do that and then sit back again in his seat.
What the fuck? This guy is more insane than Vern.
Or he just knows how to live life to the fullest before it ends.
Possible.
Or maybe he's the 40k ultimate troll.
Wouldn't that be
God.
Zeta Slanesh?
He out-trolls Zinch, maybe. We'll see.
This is ever so slightly off topic, but have any of you seen the British comedy series called Black Books?
Yes.
You know the guy that plays Bernard Black?
The main character?
Yeah.
What about him?
I think he's the person that would act as Machiasen.
Maybe.
He's a bit too angry, but I think he can do the wide-eyed, grinning, just unsettling nature.
Yeah, I think actually Machiasen would be complete with a slightly British accent of some sort, but I can't pull that off.
Well, indubitably so. I think you're a cunt.
British does not mean posh. You should know this by now. You fucking mug.
All right,
Well,
so in any
Shut
event,
up, cunt.
Alexandra is going into the mini fridge. Is anybody stopping her?
I think she's earned a drink.
Malachi is more focused on Machiasen.
Shelby, roll an inquiry roll for me. Do you want to fate that? Okay. And so with your bonus, let's see here, Shelby. Yeah, you're not trained, obviously, but plus 30 bonus with your... Oh, so close. Yeah, he just sort of ignores you. I'm sorry, but give me a scrutiny roll. Ouch. Yeah, his eyes don't tell you anything either, even though they kind of linger on you for a little longer than they usually do. And Kristen's comment is that slut.
Isn't everyone
Thank
a
you,
slut?
Kristen. Sorry, what was that, Fungi?
Doesn't she just call everyone a slut?
Fair enough. Fungi says you call everybody a slut. She says everybody is a slut.
Well, I was about to say, is she going to say because I'm a slut? And I figured that was going to be her response. Basically, you kind of did, but just comes to more people.
Fungi saw it coming, but on a much smaller scale than you actually delivered.
Now that could be read in so many dirty ways.
Down checker. I kind of like Terrence's answer. Oh, Shelby is at that point. Actually, Talia is going to grab Shelby's arm, not violently, but just sort of gently pull her back, saying, "Don't aggravate him." He's being remarkably cooperative, and she just kind of stammers for a moment because her moment of reckoning came and went, and she never really capitalized on it. And she'll actually be holding the staff part of the warp staff from earlier, just sort of rolling it in her fingers. Because the staff part was too big to fit in the bag. All the smashed bits, all that went into a bag. But the staff itself part is mostly still intact.
So she's just kind of like playing with it.
Not playing with it exactly. It's more like she hasn't even noticed that she's doing it.
I'll be keeping an eye on that.
Then Shelby will make note of it, and she's like, "No, it's fine. You said it doesn't have any energy left in it." She'll knock on it with her hand or knuckle, saying it's basically a hunk of metal now, right? She'll look up and down on it, saying, "I'm pretty sure all of the iconography that was a threat to our sanity was destroyed by Molecule's strike upon it." But you do raise a very good point. So yes, actually, if we could have some fabric, I'll wrap it up so that, in the chance that I've totally misjudged its threat potential, at least none of us will. Yeah. The sash will cover most of it. Goodness. Okay. And now Shelby is slightly more compromised in a way that somebody could make her naked. I mean, what? All right, Alexandra, you will find an assortment of different amisecs and basic wines and such not. Did you want to search for something in particular, or are you just grabbing the first bottle, popping the top, and chugging?
Pretty much grabbing the first bottle that has an interesting sounding name and then just going straight from the bottle.
Okay, so give me a D100 roll. And we'll say DC here for something that isn't going to, knock you flat on your ass. What was the penalty to your intelligence currently? You're at like 28 for your intelligence?
I'm at 18.
Oh, 18. Ouch. Okay, so DC of 48 is get 48 or lower, and what you grab will not be severely dangerous to your health. Hey, okay, so 3 degrees of success. Very nice. You're actually going to get a very fine flavored amasec that has a relatively low alcohol content, but a very robust flavor that gives you the impression that you're drinking something very heavy. but you're still going to have to roll toughness.
Yeah, I know. My toughness is shot too. Thanks to all of the trauma.
Strength.
It's the toughness at 25.
Now, do you have your Carouse trained? Good. Do you have any bonuses like decadence or? You do have decadence. Good. Okay. So yeah, even if you
decadence.
So decadence, you get plus 10 to this roll, and even if you fail, you're only getting half a point of fatigue. If you critically fail, then you're taking a full point. Wow. Okay. Miss drinks a lot. But no zinch. Or, sorry, malal. No malal. So yeah, Alexandra basically downs a bottle of really expensive anisec during the flight to this launch platform near the military base. Let's see. Tyrion is just going to be quiet and watching at this point, because Brooke never sent me any answer on what she wanted Tyrion to actually do in today's session. Terrence and Malachi are watching everybody. Machiasen is Machiasen. The planetary governor is locked up. Krios, anything else you wanted to do?
There are things I imagine I should be doing, but unfortunately I cannot think of any of them.
Okay. Shelby, anything further? Talia will nod to Shelby. I'm getting a private message from Jess. So while that's taking place, let me just double check. Mel killed Terrence. Was there anything else special you wanted to do?
Nope.
Okay. Is there anything special you were going to do on the flight? Okay. And Shelby, Talia will nod again, saying we can have a personal conversation. Well, actually, she's just going to start to trail off as she remembers that they're going to go meet Havictus. Oh, Frosty, we lost you?
No.
Oh, it says you disconnected from Map Tools.
Well, hasn't disconnected from me yet, so.
Try and move your icon. Token.
I moved it.
Not on my end. Is anybody else seeing him move?
No, he's still in the big group of people.
Okay, I'm moving Krios. Did people see Krios move?
Stop that.
So yeah, sorry.
Okay, for some
Frosty.
reason I'm... Okay. I'm in limbo.
Okay. So is there anything else Shelby wanted to say in Talia's brain? Not now? Okay. And yeah, welcome back, Frosty. Anybody with even an ounce of scrutinizing power can tell that there's quite a lot on Talia's mind right now, and she will occasionally look to Eric. Her eyes sort of squint, and then she looks down at the floor again. All the while, Machiasen just smug, kind of sitting as comfortably as one. Well, actually, you know what? He won't be at that level of excess. He'll be seated comfortably, but still in an upright position.
Well, he surprisingly passed her willpower to share the bottle, so he's offering to share the bottle.
Talia will say, no thank you. I need answers more than I need drinks.
If she says to Krios, he'll just shake his head and say, I don't.
I'm sure you could use the alcohol to fuel some sort of implant.
I shall give you liver cancer, rot disease.
Okay. Why not?
I'm not a biologist. I'm not studying in
You took biology, well, you took zoology, but in any event, the flight will continue, and eventually Jernson will say, all right, they are now requesting a code, what's the word I'm looking for? Authorization code to be flying in this airspace. And Mikaisen will say, please, Mr. Whatever your name was, put me through to the Vox channel, and I will provide the authorization code. And there's a beep boopity boop, and Mikaisen will just start rambling off a series of numbers and letters as if he's just talking to everybody. And after he stops, there will be a momentary pause, and Jernson will then say, yep, they've given approval.
Not too surprising, really.
And so the flight, well, actually, just before you guys come in for the landing, Mikaisen's going to chuckle again and say, I was hoping to get a full report on the matter of the tower in Ilham. And I have received already a condensed report that the tower has been destroyed and that there was a great unclean one there. Is that right?
Krios will look towards Talia and Shelby for confirmation. She nods and goes, yes, that is indeed correct.
Okay, and Alexandra and Krios, you were present at the point when Haley and Vern destroyed the creature?
It wasn't just them that destroyed the creature, but yes.
Yeah, how did you hear about that?
You'll just tap on his ear. And Shelby, well, actually, you know what? Just a second. Mikaisen will have a slight curious look as he reads your data slate, but his smile returns. His smug, arrogant smile returns shortly thereafter. He says, well, I'll be looking forward to full report from all of you, all of you who don't end up dead, at least. He'll chuckle to himself. It sounds like a very interesting turn of events.
Yes, it was definitely that.
Frosty, Terrence's turn to you.
Sorry. Basically just saying that as he turns around. Malachi will stay silent for now.
Okay. And so, yes, you all would eventually land. And Mikaisen say, who'd like to take care of the pilot, by the way? Any volunteers?
Take care.
Yes, see to it that his cooperation with the Inquisition is repaid appropriately.
You better not be insinuating what I think you're insinuating.
What do you think? He'll steeple his fingers. What do you think I'm insinuating?
Don't play coy, Machiasen.
Honestly, I'm allowing you to decide, seeing as the original leaders of this party that I put into play are no longer present. Krios, you seem to speak most presently. What do you decide to do with our pilot?
I see no reason to do anything. He hasn't learnt of anything of any value. He has done exactly as we has asked. I say he's earned the right to go on and live his life as he so chooses. Assuming, of course, he obeys my imperial law.
Yes, fair enough. Though, think for a moment. He has aided the Inquisition outside of his regular activities. How do you think his master might view his odd insubordination?
Krios will... Now it's Krios to smile. Well, then his master may talk to me.
Really? And how are you going to arrange something like that if you're just sending him on his merry way?
If needs be, I will provide the kinds of the... I'll try that again. If needs be, I'll provide the driver with my details before we leave the planet, just in case they decide to be a snotty little shit.
Well, considering this is the last time I think any of us are going to be seeing him, for better or for worse, now would be your chance, he says as he opens his door and steps out of the limo.
Well, I will deal with the driver. Everyone else, let's get ready to go.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
All said.
Okay, so you are dealing with the driver. How is that going to go down?
I will go to the driver and say, your cooperation has been incredibly appreciated. You may go and do as you please now. We will make sure you get the codes to leave the airspace. Will your masters give you any grief for this?
Oh shit, I didn't get him dinner!
Do you have any way of contacting them then?
Yeah, I can call him, yeah.
Let me see if I can help you out with that.
He'll assume you mean dialing the number. So he's just looking to you and then looking at the communication device he has in the front of the limo.
Trying so hard to be nice. I will help you out with smoothing that over. You might have to keep the... Yeah.
Okay, he'll dial in the number and basically as he puts the receiver to his ear, he winces and you can hear something shouting from the other end. And the shouting just sort of continues for a while, but it gets quieter after a little bit. But then it peaks every now and then, and Jernson hasn't got a word in edgewise.
Chris will just beckon the guy to hand over the phone.
Okay, he very tentatively offers it right in the middle of one of the diatribes of the man on the other end, saying, "I've entrusted this in your family's care, and again you fail me, and just so utterly disappointed."
Chris will clear his throat loudly.
Give me an not intimidation roll. Just give me a general roll to see if it's enough to break this man of his rant. It doesn't break him of the rant, but he does address it. "Don't you get snarky with me, young man. Your mother put you in my care, and rest her soul on the laurels of the Emperor. She made a mistake."
Sir, if you knew my mother, I would be impressed.
Who is this? Put Jernson back on.
Krios will smile. I will not do that right away. Now,
How dare you? Do you know who you speak to?
funny enough, I don't. I was about to ask who you were.
I am... shit, I gotta pull up the name out of nowhere here.
Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky.
Sure, I'm Quaikar Dabrowski III.
I'm sure it is a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. My name is Engineer Krios. I am a representative...
Priest?
Yes, a tech priest. Now shush, I was talking.
How
I am a representative
dare
of... If you let me finish, I will tell you how I dare. I am a representative of the Inquisition. Now, do you know that whole
please,
civil war
as
happening
if.
on this planet? The civil war happening on this planet. You will, well, whereabouts are you located? In the capital, I presume?
Of course. All the
Of...
important nobles such as myself are in the capital.
Oh, naturally. You can see the, or at least you are aware of the large amounts of heresy happening in the Whitehead Tower.
The what?
Maybe you aren't then. There's a civil war on the planet. You are aware of this, correct?
Yes. The Lord Governor has just made his announcement that he's turning himself in for his crimes.
Yes, who do you think is responsible for him turning himself into his crimes?
Oh, yes, of course. Like you, some engine seer would have that kind of power.
Yes,
This
his
is obviously some
audience
kind of-
chamber is actually quite impressive.
This is obviously some kind of ploy by Jernson to avoid taking responsibility for yet another failure.
Well, I'll let you, you may continue to doubt me for now, but I'll let you know that he transported myself and other inquisitorial agents up to the planetary governor's private chambers, where we apprehended him, destroyed many diabolical entities, and now have him in custody. I may prove this to you, but you, well, it might come to bite you in the arse someday.
At this point, you realize that the line had been disconnected for about 5 seconds.
What a cunt. Is he back on?
No, he disconnected. He hung
I
up.
see. He will hold the phone down for a 0 second, turn to the driver and say, "It's quite a piece of work, isn't he?"
He just sort of bites his lip and looks down.
Don't worry, you're amongst friends. I'm not sure if it's true. You're amongst friends here. I assume he's always this cantankerous.
No, just with me and my mess ups.
Do you have much holding you to his service other than a family tradition?
My entire family serves his family.
I'm sure you all enjoy that.
Well, they do.
And you do not, I assume. Rather obviously.
He doesn't like me and he's in charge.
Krios gives him an extremely knowing smile. Yes, I am aware of that trope. It might not be so easy to smooth things over with him. However, you've shown you are at least mostly competent in helping the force of the Inquisition. Now, it is the last thing I do to uproot you from your entire life. Though if it is proving so enjoyable as it is right now, I can offer you a place in my retinue.
He just kind of stammers, "Give me a fellowship roll, please." To fate or not to fate?
I thought we didn't have any fate.
Oh, fate has been restored.
Ah. Fuck me.
Well, only if you ask nicely and come visit me. But, the kindness of my heart, you onion. Well, thank you for using onion, by the way. his response will be, "But my family, he'll punish my whole family if I don't return." Is anyone else going to join Krios during this whole situation? Or is everybody staying close to Machiasen?
Malachi is, since he's devious, insane, and... well, that's about it.
Is there any way of giving basically, like, "This is my rosette, bitch," over the phone?
Except Krios doesn't have a rosette, bitch.
No, I know. I was just wondering.
No, if the noble Quaker had some sort of means of verifying a authorization code, perhaps, but he's not necessarily in a position to do that. You can just see Krios stroking his chin, but because he's got that big metal piece of armor, he has to reach up and over.
It's like an underhanded grip. Well, I meant it when I said you've been incredibly useful to myself and my colleagues. The last thing I want to do is inconvenience you for all the help you've given us. Now, there is not too much I can offer at this very moment, but hopefully soon I will be able to change that. There's no such thing, because this is not the kind of thing I've ever read about, as, like, other than fucking... what's the word? Like, astropaths. There's no way of having, like... Basically, all I'm saying is there's no FortiGate email addresses or anything like that, are there?
If there's short-range communications, so a planet could communicate with a ship in orbit, but there would be like a 2-minute delay, or depends on how far away the ship is. But once you start getting out of orbit of a planet, astropaths are pretty much the only way to communicate without having, relay, like satellite relay stations or something like that.
Right.
Except for when we first started this campaign, the Magnalius device.
Gene Magnelis?
The device that allowed.
Oh no, I remember the device. It's just the way you said it. It sounded like you just put an ES into my surname, which made me pause. Yeah. Right. So, brain, come on, you're doing so well. Right. Yeah. So, yes, I meant what I said. You are free to go about your business as you wish. If you return to your master and he does give you hell for this, I'll make it my personal aim to not only make it up for you, but, well, make him regret being such a pompous twat.
Thank you. Well, let's actually give him an intelligence roll. His DC is not high.
I think saying 9 for a second there. Oh, 39.
Yeah, he fails his intelligence roll, and he bows and says, "Oh, is everybody out? Should I go now?"
I'll double check everyone is out. Is everyone out then?
I assume so. I don't think. Well, has anyone? Alexandra. Frosty, it says you disconnected again.
What the fuck?
Alexandra, are you staying in the car to drink, or did you get out with your booze?
I got out with the strays, and Trauma Cat still holding the bottle.
Okay. So yeah, everybody's out.
All right. I'm going to take your and your master's details, and I will make this up to you.
Oh, right. Okay, and then he'll ramble off his full name, Jernson Taberbecker of the Taberbecker servant line. They are, of course, still nobles above all the common rabble, but their entire family is dedicated to serving other noble families. And at this point, the Dabrowski line basically owns his entire Taberbecker family.
Control S on that information.
And he'll mention that the hive spire that they call home is not too far, actually, from the planetary governor's spire, but it's on the south side of that artificial lake that's been built up at the top of the spire. Not the spire. The spire is the individual tower. The mega structure of the hive, they built a lake, a small kind of fishing lake up there. You can see it on the map.
Oh, sure would be inconvenient if someone pulled the plug.
And yeah, their tower.
So yeah, that's about it for now.
Okay. Frosty is returned. So then, yeah, Jernson will disappear into the night because, yeah, I think it's night by this point. Okay.
One day,
Pausing the
that
recording.
noble